I love you guys.
Dance off, bro. I have the high ground.
Expecto Patronum!
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor. Tribe of Nerds.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Sarah, Kevin, and I are here to continue our Transformers watch series. In the lead up to Transformers 1, we are here with Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, and Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon. So we're going to start with Revenge of the Fallen here. So Revenge of the Fallen came out 2009, 2 years after the first one. The critics gave it 20%, and the audience gave it 57%. So nobody liked it, or not as many people liked it. The box office was 836.5 million, so it still made a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah, that's a good amount of money.
Let's go through our impressions of Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen. What did you guys think?
Well, why don't you guys go first so that I can spend the last 5 minutes talking about Megan Fox?
Kevin?
Revenge of the Fallen is a movie that was made. It's not what we would typically call good.
No.
Like when I was watching it, as I'm watching it, I'm like, is Michael Bay just 2 8-year-olds in a trench coat? Like what is
Yes.
this like?
Yes.
Like the humor, the idea, like the concept of geography is like that would take 10 minutes. Like that would take a full day of travel. Like, and they just appear there. And like things like the Transformers are able to do things just kind of like that the script wants them to do at the time that they couldn't previously do and never do again, or like should have made it so that they won this war with humans years ago. Like they can perfectly replicate a human being.
Yeah,
perfectly.
That's crazy to me that like because this is off of Hasbro and there were comics about Transformers, right?
Yeah.
So like did the Decepticons have the ability to transform into humans? Because I didn't think that was a thing.
Right. So like I don't think so. And it's just like if you can do that, why are you like making yourselves like what are you doing? And like you have the one that's in space on the satellite who's getting all the information from the satellite, but then you sent them to like go to the military base in the last movie to get it from there. Like why wouldn't you just gotten it from the satellite in the first place? So like there's a lot of things that just like don't make sense. And like they go to Egypt and then they go to Jordan from there, and like they just like get in the car and drive, and I'm like that's not how space-time continuum works, friend. So
How 2 8-year-olds in a trench coat do geography.
right. If you only pass like 5th grade geography, you might think that. But like just because when you put it out on the paper map and they look close doesn't mean they're actually close.
Yeah, this movie was just wild in so many bad ways. Like it's just like from the fact that like the main villain besides Megatron is supposed to be Megatron's boss, the Fallen, and he's such a wet fart of a villain. He appears like maybe like close to halfway through the film, maybe towards the beginning of the middle of the movie, and then shows up at the end and gets destroyed immediately. It's such a wet fart of a villain. I don't like that. Yeah.
And this movie starts the trend of like Megatron, or not Optimus Prime dying but not really dying.
Right. Yep.
Which is super, like there were actual stakes in the last one. You know, like Jazz died. Megatron ripped him in half, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, and so yes, it's silly because it's talking robots who turn into cars, and like yes, but like it actually like mattered within the universe, and like nothing matters anymore.
Right.
Sam died, but they had the wait. What was the thing? So last time it was the cube. This time it's the
Allspark.
right. So this time it's the matrix of leadership. Is that what it is, or is that the third?
That might be
It's
the third one.
It's the little thing, the little like curvy thing that disintegrates me. But like, there's always a thing that this is the thing that starts life, and it's like you need a new like motivator besides the thing that starts life for Autobots.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about dinosaurs?
Well, I think from what I've heard, we're gonna get to that.
We do see dinosaurs eventually.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah. Sarah, what are your thoughts of Revenge of the Fallen?
Megan Fox's legs looked great the entire time. The whole movie, they look so good, slightly Vaselined, all greasy, hot.
This is why I'm sitting on my couch so that when you say dumb things and I fall over.
You can't deny she is so pretty, like just very aesthetically pretty on the camera too. She just is very pretty. But you can tell from the directing and like the editing that it very much is like supposed to be like from the perspective of a 16-year-old boy. You know what I mean? It's very much sexually charged, and it very much so. And again, that was the 2000s, you know, that's how everything was. So
watch a music video from the 2000s, like
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there are tons of plot holes in here, but like as a movie from the 2000s, again, when we were just getting the CGIs and big movies like this, like at the time it was good, you know what I mean? But then when you go back and do something like this on a rewatch, you're able to point out all the inconsistencies and things they should have done better, things that didn't age well, you know what I mean? So I think it's really, if you would have asked us 10 years ago, good movie. Ask us today, you know, so
no, it was always my least favorite. I always would have said it was bad.
Yeah.
I will say that these movies, I know that as they go on, it turns into just like metal smashing together, like but you can still tell who, like, at least for the Autobots, like who is who. Like there is like a design, they have personality, they have, you know, so there's still something there for those. So I mean, I guess I'll give the movie that credit because they haven't lost it yet.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, we've talked about the humor a little bit again. Yes, super sexually charged, as was the first one, but you know, you have Wheelie, the little robot that starts humping Megan Fox's leg, and just like a bunch of other, and like you have shots of Megan Fox's ass at a couple points, just like it's just
where do you think I got it from?
But it's just like, I don't know, like it's just the humor does not do it for me. It still is not great in the third one either. So
that's because you're a good boy, Jake.
But like, there's also like they doubled down in this movie on the things that were annoying.
Yeah.
Like why? Like the parents were funny, so they made like 8 characters like the parents, and it's like, but like the parents were funny because they were like a little like short thing over here.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't want
a pop brownie. You could have had half the movie be about that. I would have been fine.
Yeah. So I think we can go into like behind the scenes stuff as well here. So behind the scenes of Revenge of the Fallen, so they shot scenes at college at Princeton and University of Pennsylvania for when Sam went to school. But both schools rejected permission to be named in the film due to the actress playing Sam's mom eating marijuana brownies in the movie, and that didn't represent them very well, so they rejected permission.
That's hilarious. Because, like, I mean, if you really cared enough, you could figure it out, you know?
Well, and here's the thing. If it wasn't 2 7-year-olds in a trench coat who were writing it, they could have made the joke without saying it exactly and appeased one of the college. You know, like,
that's funny. Yeah.
She goes to eat the brownie. They tell her no. And then like, it's too late. And then they cut to her like acting acting like she's stoned, and like we would all get the joke and you wouldn't have to say it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
A good writer would do that. We didn't have that.
I was gonna say, isn't that something they teach in film school? Don't say it when you can show it, type thing.
No. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know stoned meant you could literally tackle someone.
Oh, you can. You can. You should have seen me at Kevin's house. Oh, you can.
Well, but it's like she literally leaps and tackles a dude that is like bigger than her, and I'm just like, what the heck? This is so
Don't
weird.
do drugs.
Yeah.
Everyone should do the DARE program.
I pledge allegiance to the Lion of DARE.
Of Lion. Yeah.
Let's see what other, and then I think we touched on this when talking about the first Transformers, but going into this one, they had Mudflap and Skids seen as the two very racist caricatures of black people. And they were omitted from the third film, as we'll get to, because of the reaction to the movie. And then after the movie came out, Shia LaBeouf was unimpressed by the movie, and eventually Michael Bay even admitted to the movie being crap. So
wow, I did not know that. Okay.
So if you're a director and your star saying that, I think your movie just sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also when one of your stars calls you Hitler, it can kind of put a hindrance on things as well.
Do you want to explain that, Sarah?
Speaking of omissions, during this movie, it must have been just a shit show. I don't have a direct quote on it, but from what I gathered, Megan Fox compared Michael Bay to his directing style of similar to Hitler, which obviously is a little controversial, a lot of controversial, probably not appropriate, so that is the reason she is not in the third movie. She and Michael Bay since then have rekindled kind of a friendship and stuff. That is why she ended up starring in the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie directed by Michael Bay. Okay. So they did end up rekindling their friendship, but at the time, the Hitler comment very much was like a big thing. And it's funny enough that she was written out of the third one because shortly after all this happened, I mean, the script for the third one was already done and finished, and it was written for Megan Fox's character. Mm-hmm. So when you go back and you'll watch it now in the third one, when you re-see it, there's so many times in the script where you're like, no, that's for Michaela. So when you think that Sam is going out he doesn't have a job, right? And the girl has the high-tech fancy job with what? With the cars, right?
Yeah.
That is Michaela's thing, right? Megan Fox's thing was the high-tech cars. When she ends up getting locked in that car, then they keep her hostage. That was meant for Megan Fox's character. So like all they did was fire her and then insert hot blonde girl who's also not as good as Megan Fox. Still hot, but preferred Megan Fox, whatever. But yeah, it's just so funny, like watching it after learning that, and you can see just how it was handpicked, written for her. But then they added those little jabs in there in the movie. Like you'll see next week, there's little jabs in her. Like, oh no, I didn't like her. She was mean. Like as far as storytelling, the break between 2 and 3 is just not good. Not good.
And then, so she left. Was she like? Has she also spoken out about not liking the movie? Because she's very objectified in this movie.
Yeah.
She in every movie, damn near.
Well,
that's how it was for her.
At one point when like she has the flowers to give to Sam, she takes off her like biker outfit and like to reveal the skimpy dress, and it's just like
yeah. And again, 16-year-old boy perspective, you know what I mean? It's all
And
I still like watching it, but whatever.
A major plot point of the second movie being like, which one of them is going to say "I love you" first? Like, so silly.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. Is one of my things I didn't like is obviously we'll get there, but at the end, like it seems like everything was based on and hell was held in the hands if they said "I love you" to each other, and it's just like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just from a storytelling perspective, they love them. I did read here, obviously you can only go so far with celebrity news, but I did hear that Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox might have had a little dated while they were like on set, but that can also be a PR thing. But they very well, they did have good chemistry on screen. I believed it the way it was shot. Like, besides the sexually charged stuff, Megan Fox just has really good expression of her eyes. I believe her. So like, you're getting all this emotion and all this relationship from two movies that these people, like, it's just happenstance that they met and now they're so close. And then like, I get it, things happen, but the way I feel like they just dumped it off in the third one, it's like, it makes this one like, I don't want to watch it. Like, all this is for nothing, So
yeah. I mean, jumping ahead, the third one, they still have Megan Fox's little robot that she tortured. Like, that was her pet. That's her pet robot. She should get to keep him.
And the third one, it's the same dog too. Like, they literally, as Sarah said, they literally took Megan Fox and replaced her completely and left everything else the same.
Yeah, just did like a remove object and inserted something else.
Yeah, so I did want to touch on, because I don't think we touched on the voice acting of the Transformers too much. I did want to like touch on what I read. So Hugo Weaving, aka the Red Skull in Captain America, and he was in The Matrix as well, of course. He played Megatron, or voiced Megatron. So that's really interesting. And so this is, his voice role as Megatron. I like the third one happened around the time when Captain America, the First Avenger, was happening. And then Wheelie is voiced by Tom Kenny. I believe Tom Kenny voices quite a few roles in the Transformers movies, which aka SpongeBob.
I was gonna say, what?
yeah, SpongeBob is multiple voices. He's Wheelie. I think he's a couple other Transformers, but
SpongeBob is the little humper?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, magic ruined. Oh my god.
Yep. He was also Tom Kenny's also been, he's been in so many things: Ice King and Adventure Time, Spyro the Dragon, Raymundo and Shaolin Showdown. Like, there's a lot of different roles Tom Kenny's been.
Iconic childhood memory. And what a talented voice actor. And yeah, just coming back to that, it takes a lot for something that isn't real for an actor to bring a voice to it that fits so well that you can hear it in a room and you don't even have to see the movie or anything, and you know who it is. When Optimus speaks, you know who it is. There's, if you played Lightning McQueen, unless he said ka-chow, you're not really going to know who it is. You know what I mean? But like certain things like Optimus Prime, I know who that is.
Wow. I didn't know we were going to do Owen Wilson impressions this week, but
wow.
All right, anything else from Revenge of the Fallen? Or we can just rank it if not. So
I also want to take a second to shit on why do they constantly give robots balls? What?
It's because it's for boys, little boys. Boys think farts and dicks are funny. That's just the world.
We're gonna continue to see this, but there's a reviewer I watch, and she talks about how people love disaster movies, and because 2012 was so good, and this came out around that year. 2012 was not good. Just destroying the pyramids, just to destroy the pyramids is not good. Just destroying the ancient architecture of Jordan is not good just because it's fun to destroy things. I don't like it. Why are we blowing up?
It's okay. I was more of a Day After Tomorrow type fan. I liked that movie. That's
fair. Well, that is a better movie.
Never mind. Now I hate it. It's horrible. And The Abyss sucks too.
All right, let's hit the rankings. So I believe we gave Transformers 1, I gave it a C, Kevin and Sarah gave it a B, so it's like a C plus, B minus. Revenge of the Fallen,
B minus, that's how averages work.
B minus, yeah. So that's a B minus. I'm gonna be giving I'm gonna be giving Revenge of the Fallen a D. It could be an F, but at least the Transformer designs, the voice acting, the visual effects are still worth it, but everything else in this movie just is not good, so I'm gonna give it a D.
I'm gonna give it a C because I got to see Megan Fox's legs.
No, it's also getting a D from me. It is. I'm pretty sure this Bumblebee came from this movie, and I therefore do appreciate it. So I won't give it an F. And I love the soundtrack. Listening to Linkin Park, I'm like, Chester.
God, no, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. We cannot talk about this movie without at least hitting on the amazing soundtrack. Like, that's one thing Michael Bay can do is like.
Michael Bay had nothing to do with that. It was all Chester.
Well, of course, but like being able to make that in there, because Chester Bennington's fucking iconic. You know what I mean? All you have to do is play the first few chords of his song, any of his songs, and all the emo kids are like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, just iconic. The soundtrack in this movie is amazing. I love a movie with a good soundtrack for sure.
Okay, so I hate agreeing with Sarah on things, but okay, good. So soundtrack good, character design still good. As silly as they are, I do still like I still like Sam and Michaela. Like, they're a little over the top silly, but like a lot of the rest of the stuff is just like, you didn't have to bring back the annoying government guy, and if you brought him back, you didn't have to make him that annoying again. Like,
John Turturro.
Like, you always have to root for like young love, you know. If not, you're like a shitty person.
Yeah. So if this was strictly a geography quiz, it would be an F. But because there's also music involved, it's a D.
Yeah. All right.
The music saved it for Kevin. Okay.
Well, it's going to be a C- because of Sarah's C.
No, it would be a D. What?
Wait, D plus, C-? Okay.
That's a D plus.
That's a D plus. Okay.
2 Ds, so it goes to the lower side.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would disagree with that, but whatevs.
I mean, you already did disagree, and you were wrong.
Yeah, I'm happy to have it be a D plus. So, all right. I also did want to mention, I believe Dwight Schrute is in this movie as the professor at Sam's college. Rainn Wilson, I believe, is his name. Yeah, so that was funny. And we're gonna see, as we talk about the third one here, a lot of celebrity cameos and like voice roles in this movie. So they really wanted to go all out for Dark of the Moon here.
Yeah, when you're trying to recover from something that was a little as lackluster as this, you're gonna put all the big guns out for sure.
Yeah.
So does this settle it then with our averaging? Is Transformers 2 a good or a bad movie? It looks like it's a bad movie. Uh-oh.
That's a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, don't watch this movie. We're sorry to have ruined your childhood.
Don't say that. Megan Fox is still hot.
Right. Listen, watch it, appreciate it for what it is, and move on with your life. Do not dwell on all the problems.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
From a disgusting human being.
All right. So let's move on to Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon. And the scores for this one. Dark of the Moon, it got a 35% from the critics, so slightly better than what the critics thought of Revenge of the Fallen. It got a 55% for the audience, so somehow the audience disliked Dark of the Moon more than Revenge of the Fallen. And the box office...
Megan Fox isn't in it?
Yeah, that's probably it. That 2% was Megan Fox.
And 2% was me.
So the box office, it joined the $1 billion club. It made $1.124 billion.
Wow. That'll buy a nice pirate ship. Fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they kept making them. I understand why they kept making them not good, because they were making money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not good. No. I mean, I will say the third one is better than the second one. The second one is the second one is the trash heap. I like certain ideas. Like, I like the idea that that they like go away from, right? Because like later the dinosaurs are, but like that, like there was aliens on the moon, and like that's why we actually went to the moon. Like little things like that, like just make it like a fun, realistic world to be in. I like they went to Chicago instead of New York for a change. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like little things. Now they said seal off the city. you don't seal off Chicago by blowing up the bridges. That's not how that works. But like, it's not Gotham, so that doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if you've ever been to Illinois, Chicago is most of the state. So really, if you blew up the bridges and just like put a couple fences up, like only cows would try to get through. So really, I mean, it's theoretically impossible.
Yeah.
Right. And there are certain things like, so there are things like that that just like make it seem a little more like of a real world that they like exist in, again within like the fun context of a movie. The constant just like let's blow up the building is like dangling like this and not falling, like that's come on,
stupid,
come on, Michael Bay. And like
that could also be one thing, probably because of their set, because, you know, Mr. Geography, but a lot of their sets in the skyscrapers, when they did certain things, like the guys sliding down the skyscrapers, they actually made like practical sets that tilted and stuff. So like some of those things you're noticing is like maybe just because it was at that time, you know? So.
Right. It was very much a, you know, it'd be cool if we made them slide down the side of a building.
Whoa, dude.
It's now, it's a couple years later, so it's two 10-year-olds in a trench coat. So I would say it's not good, but it's better than the last one. I think, didn't they have somebody, the red car, I think was like Omar Sy or something. It was like I remember there was like a casting announcement that it was supposed to be like a big deal that he was joining the movie, and then it was meh.
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrity roles that we'll get into,
but Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear, not Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Aldrin. Why did you? I was like, when is Tim Allen in this movie? Like, what?
No,
I work with little children.
There's no intelligent life forms here. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Right now.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin.
I said the wrong one. I said the wrong Buzz.
To infinity and beyond.
Anyway, the famous astronaut, the real one, not the fake one, not the Disney one. So like it's, there are certain things that are more likable because the last one is just like garbage heap. There's like, ooh, there's more to pick out. That's good here, but it's still a mess. You've still got like Patrick Dempsey's character, like and like all the people, like they're just like blowing up the entire city, and people are just running in the same direction at each other, and it's like something would be exploding and they'd be running away from it, not just like into each other. Like it's just like, and like at one point they roll up because they're gonna go into the city, but the bridge is out or whatever, and like there's just a train on top of a pile of rubble, and it's like, but how would that have gotten there?
Yeah. Well, and to that point, I just can't see Patrick Dempsey as a villain. Like, I just see him as like a good guy, like in more things. Like, I don't know.
I'm fine with him being a villain. I'm just saying, like, the cartoonishly like villainous turn is just like,
and then he gets knocked into like the portal thing and dies or something. So like
gets blacked, right? What kind of shit is that?
Yeah. Well, speaking of like the portal things, obviously this movie came out 1 year before Avengers, and it seems like Avengers took everything from this movie and did it way better.
Like the Leviathan flying through the city.
Yeah, the Leviathans and like the battle in the giant city, and it just like it's crazy like how like Avengers decided, oh hey, these look cool if we did them right this time.
I would also argue that with like them having to cut Megan Fox with the script already being written and stuff, I did read that there were certain things they had to change. So that's why like this film is a lot of more action-packed, constantly moving, drawn-out action sequences, is because of like they had to figure out how to do it without Megan Fox. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, some of that can be attributed to that, but
I assume this is also, as we've talked about with some of the other movies, one of the ones where like 3D was a thing, because there are times when it's like slow motion flying across the screen out towards the camera and back. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like when you get out of bed in the morning and try to get to the bathroom. Yeah.
That requires a cane, actually. So yes, it's slow motion, but it's not nearly as action packed.
I'll just get you a litter box for your next to your bed.
So other things I have, so I'm gonna get into this one behind the scenes that we haven't talked about, and then I'll get into the other celebrity cameos, voice roles. I was nominated for Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Visual Effects at the 84th Academy Awards. So I guess is that going for it? Because when I watched it this on Amazon Prime, it said 3-time Oscar nominee. I'm like, really? This is an Oscar nominee?
Which is funny because
it stand out compared to the others. I think this is the first one that like you can definitely see a different in like the color contrast, and it's primarily a lot of it's shot like more at night scenes. So those colors, that shiny, that chrome, it really pops. Like that is, I can see how it won like a visual effects award, especially back then.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah, for sure.
Visual effects I see, and I guess if we're talking about sound mixing, like you do always. Sometimes there's bad sound mixing where like there's like explosions happening, you can't hear the characters talking.
Right.
Like, so we don't have any of that, even though there's a lot of explosions. So I guess I get that.
Yeah, I get that. It's just funny that Transformers got nominated. To think that
this movie is nominated for 3 Academy Awards. Yes, that's very funny.
Yeah, because there's other like blockbuster movies that I think should have gotten Academy Award nominations over something like this. But anyway, other celebrity voice roles and cameos. Leonard Nimoy, who is Spock in Star Trek, he is the Sentinel Prime. So that's pretty cool that they got Leonard Nimoy.
His voice though. Oh God, it's just very recognizable. It's a good fit. It matches, for the movie. Just sometimes in movies you just can't bond to a character's voice like that, or just a certain character, and so they really did a good job with the casting on a lot of these. You just are drawn to them. Even if you hate them and they're a villain, like Dolores Umbridge. Fucking hate the bitch, but the actor that plays nailed it,
Oh, absolutely. Other ones, Ken Jeong is obviously the weird guy that gets taken out of the window.
Thrown out a window.
Yeah, Jerry Wang, and he literally takes a young man into a bathroom stall and strips, and they do for some reason, Michael Bay also loves to give close-ups on people's underwear, so I'm not really sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's like, why do we need to see this? Like, why? And what was the point?
Right. Like I think we can establish most people wear underwear every day, so like.
Well, but also, like,
what did that character add to the movie?
Yeah, and honestly, that was a thing back then. The underwear thing. I mean, again, with it being sexually charged, but I remember seeing somewhere there was an interview. Fuck, I wish I could remember who it was. I don't want to like say it, and it's not true. So I guess take it with a grain of salt. But it might have been like Scarlett Johansson or somebody. I don't fucking know. But the interviewer had enough balls to ask like if she was wearing underwear in the scene in the movie or like currently, and it was just like. Why does that fucking matter to you? Like, just so weird the world was. I mean, obviously still is, but back then it was a whole different fucking thing.
Yeah, that did happen. So you are right. It did happen in interviews. I remember hearing about that. So
yeah, insane.
So people are weird. So I know there's a bunch of Alan Tudyk is like the security guard.
The security guard who takes over for the actual like U.S. military and is like hacking for them, like
and he like takes out. He's doing
a trench coat.
Yeah, and he's doing like the shotgun in the bar or whatever. Like he's like shooting people in the bar and whatnot. So that's kind of the that's the ones I can remember, but I'm sure there's a couple other ones as well. Besides Buzz Aldrin and Patrick Dempsey being in the movie.
Buzz Aldrin and his dad, Emperor Zurg. Yeah. My favorite part.
Any other ones? Any other ones that you guys can remember?
No. Were any of those like Autobots who just show up all of a sudden at the end? Were any of them famous people? Like there's the old guy who has like the Target beer belly. There's
What, the one that looks like Einstein as well? Which
yeah, the one that they
No, fucking let us know in the comments. Matt Noel, I know you're watching this. I know you know shit. Let us know.
yeah, Matt can let us know. Matt's good about this stuff. So all right. Anything else you guys want to discuss about Dark of the Moon?
we did lose
I think it was
one. We lost Ironhide. We lost the one because Sentinel kills him. So we did get back to that, which is also another reason why this is better than the last one, because there are stakes again.
Yeah, I understand there are stakes. It does feel like, and that's the thing, is like, it feels like the second movie was like a continuation of Megan Fox and Sam's relationship. You know, we were meant to. I feel like if this movie had Megan Fox in it and stuff, and it was written better, more about the relationship, it would all be, you know, it would all make sense. But like, just separately, it's just, I don't know, just the storylines. But I do like this one because like the other one was like the young love thing. This one is like Sam's in college, you know, he's still dependent on his girlfriend for money. So he's not quite a man yet, but it still has the adult undertones of, like Kevin said, the movie has very high real stakes and it is good.
Yeah. Oh, and another big cameo. I know I was missing somebody. John Malkovich is his boss. So that's another big one. And he's wearing spray tan and like and being John Malkovich.
I was gonna say, yeah, he gave me very what's the character? Patrick Bateman. Gave me very much Patrick Bateman vibes.
yeah. No, I was like, because I saw him and then I'm like, I know who this is, and then I'm like, oh yeah, John Malkovich.
Looks just like him. I think overall impressions, I think it was a good movie. It was definitely more adulty. I mean, and yeah, no shade to the actress that replaced Megan Fox. She did phenomenal. You know, I do just wish there were a couple funny times in this movie. I wish there was a little more comedy, but not the sex-driven comedy. Like when Shia LaBeouf had like whatever, when his brain was taken over and he was like in the office, like kitten calendar. Like, I only buy kitten calendars now and do that on like maybe a tri-monthly basis. Like, I will take you to see my kitten calendar right now. But it's just like memorable little things like that. Like, it's funny. I love some humor. Like, so you can be funny without being raunchy. And I just think that's something that they needed to learn back then. And, you know, then people got too soft and now we can't say anything today. So everyone's a little bitch.
The other thing, she basically like bullies Megatron into going to take out Sentinel.
Yeah, and then Megatron gets decapitated. So
does Megatron come back again in the? I think Megatron and Optimus, I think both just like continuously die and come back.
They have like the Mario balloons, like they're coming back.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about that, I think, next week.
Yeah.
All right, let's rank it.
All right, so this one I'll probably also give it a C. Like, it was better than Revenge of the Fallen. The celebrity roles at least enhanced it a little bit, but it's still not good to me. It still has the same problems that I had with the first one, and like, yeah, I just think I'm going to give this a C because it's just like, I don't think this trilogy at all is as squeaky clean as people may remember it back then.
It's like, this is going to be like watching the Pirates movies because you're going to be like, oh, wait, it gets worse.
So what do you rank it, Kevin?
I would also give it a C. I would give it a slightly differently, like what's we're looking for, like packaged C, because I'd say like a C is still like a passing grade, right? So like it's like, I would say this is more watchable than 2. Like 2 was like hard to get through,
right?
This is I think a little too long, but otherwise like it's okay. I think the first one does a better job of like the suspension of disbelief of like some of the stuff in that movie makes no sense and is stupid, but they just like keep going fast enough that it doesn't, like, you don't have time to think about how it doesn't make sense. It's not until later and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's not if you watched it 100 times and you could pick it apart that, yeah.
Wait wait a second. Why would they take the cube into the city? Why would they wait a second. Why does the cube get like so much smaller? It's this giant cube inside the dam, and then it fits inside his shirt, right? Like, so there are things that if you think about them don't make any sense, but if the movie goes so fast, like you don't have time to think about it, and it's fine and it's fun. This one I think slows down a little bit. Sometimes you do have that chance to be like, this is dumb and doesn't make any sense. So I don't think it pulls off what the first movie pulled off, but I do think it's better than the second movie, like undeniably better than the second movie. So I think it's very clearly a BDC. Like they brought it back up a little bit. Still not as good as the first.
All right, Sarah.
Well, I think in the original rankings, I gave the first one a B. I think I would probably move that up to an A to where we are now. And then I would probably give this one a B just because, like, even though that girl won't be Megan Fox, like, it was still a good movie.
So much.
All right then.
I mean, and again, yeah, it's better than the second one. It just feels a little more realistic. I think it's a good movie. The second one, when you compare the two, just the stakes, the realism, just even like the dialogue, sometimes it's just not as cheesy and dumb as the second one, you know? I mean, you can still appreciate it, but yeah. Once you're older and really like delve into things, you're like,
like
don't like that.
When we first started talking about this, Revenge of the Fallen was not on Paramount. Like, it was hard to find. And then it came back. They brought it back for whatever reason. But like, having watched it, I'm like, I know why they tried to hide this. Because 2 is not good. The other 2, 1 and 3, yeah, they're good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I know why they tried to bury that second one.
Yeah.
So this is gonna get like a C+, I think.
Yes, look at Jake learning how to use the system. I'm so
Yay.
So that would be 1, 3, 2 so far.
Yeah, yep. So
don't worry, Mark's gonna come in here and ruin all your Megan Fox fantasies. So
all right, Transformers at number 1, Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon at number 2, and Revenge of the Fallen at number 3.
That sounds good. All right, so I guess does that make it a good movie or a bad movie?
Can we do in the middle?
No, you gotta fucking pick one.
I would say it is watchable. I would give it a yes, it's good.
It's slightly passable. I mean, you know, a C is just average.
Wait to watch Twilight with you. If you hate fucking Transformers this much, oh, you'll love Twilight.
I still have not said I'm watching Twilight. So.
I told you as far as I got into Twilight. It's not happening. I'm not watching the whole series.
Yeah. Kevin and I are out at that point. So.
I'll explain it to you guys.
You don't have to explain it. I saw with my own eyes, and I was out.
I was there in middle school for like the craze of Edward versus Jacob, so I know what it was like.
I liked
all these girls with the book with the apple, and they had the shirts and shit. I never got into that. Like, obviously, I'm team fucking Bella, but you know, they didn't make those shirts. So
yeah. Well, that's gonna.
I would definitely say that this movie is above those movies. I did not get through the first Twilight, so
yeah, I'm not gonna get through them ever. So.
I was able to get through the second Transformers, and 3 is like a little ridiculous, but it's fine.
Yeah,
right. It's watching 3 is like listening to like female Michael talk, and it makes it tolerable. It's good.
All right.
It's actually Michael, maybe his sister. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to conclude our Transformers original Michael Bay trilogy reviews and
explosions.
And that means next week we're talking about the Mark Wahlberg duology. I don't think I've ever seen either of them in like maybe clips, but I've never actually like sat down and watched either of them. So we'll see how that goes. Who directs the duology, by the way?
Well, let's look
That
up.
I'm sure about. But you can always trust with a Michael Bay film that it'll always have the 3 B's: boobs, butts, and booms.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's true.
Director, it's still Michael Bay.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna see more boobs, booms, and
Right.
Still Michael Bay.
all right then. He just decided to reboot
Sorry.
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So like
For everyone to stay tuned.
Yeah.
We've got some
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah, please stay tuned. We're gonna have some big news dropping. We're very excited about the 3 of us. Tribe of Nerds is gonna have a future, so let's just put it that way. A bigger future. And yeah, with that, we will see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
Fuck you, Kevin.
fuck you too, sweetie.